everyone, it's Annie from Vintage Lace Journal and it is Tag Time Tuesday and I'm cheating this week. I have got some pre-made tags. I found this in my local haberdashery shop. They were selling them off, so I grabbed them. So yeah, pre-made tags, different colours. There's yellow, green, pink and blue. And these measure 5 1/4 by 3 inches. So I'm going to be using these today. Now the reason why I'm making you're using pre-made tags is because they were easy. Also I'm going to be trying to use up some of these. Now this is my scrap. I've got a scrap box. I've also got this scrap which is kind of like vintagey kind of colours. There's offcuts of digikits, doilies, coffee dyed paper, German dictionary, music sheets, some old scrapbook paper, all sorts in there. So I'm going to be using these as a background today to kind of like collage some of these pre-bought tags. I'm going to collage over them. Now I'm not intending on doing these too decorative today, so I'm not going to be doing any finishing off because I think these are really good to have as a stash. And then when you come to do a journal, you've got these ready-made backgrounds that you can then put your theme onto. However, having said that, on a couple of them, I might be using these. I got these, I've done an Temu order. These are Emu then. A Temu order, and these pads were just too good to miss, really. Absolutely love them. So I might be tearing some of those up. Oh, look at that. Yeah, lovely, lovely images in there. And then this one was all to do with the fairies, like little flower fairies. So again, I might tear elements of those up to put on the tags as well. So let's make a start. So things you're going to need today is obviously paper scraps. We all have loads of those. Glue stick. I'm using just an ordinary Pritt stick glue stick because obviously Asda's own make. I think they're about £1. And to glue my things onto the tags, I'm using a glue book. So this is an old book, just a fiction book. It's got absolutely loads of pages in it. And what I do is obviously when I come to glue something down, obviously if you've used a glue book before, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new to this, then obviously you won't. So I'll just grab a tag. So you take a tag. I'm going to take this off because I'm going to leave them blank, as I said. And we're going to start taking pieces of paper, and the glue book just stops you messing up any background. And then when you finish them like I've done here, you fold them over, and I can then use these as bases for tags. Okay, so this is quite a plain piece. So lining that up on the side. What I will do, if I do go over on any places on here, I am going to turn it over and cut at the end. Okay, so let's have a little look, see what we've got in here. So it's just a case of going through your scraps, tearing off bits that you want, popping it on the glue book, lots of glue on the back, and then just layering them all up. It's a nice calming process, I think. You've just got some time to kill. I'm going on holiday soon, so I'm just trying to do a few little bits and pieces before we fly off to sunny Crete. And talking about going to Crete, I'm actually going to start my first travel journal while I'm out there, so I'm quite excited about that. I've never done a travel journal before, so I'm going to take a little kit with me with some pens and pencils and bits and pieces. And yeah, I've made lots of travel journals, so I thought it's actually time I start using the things that I make. We're all quite guilty of that, I think. Okay, so because it's a collage, it doesn't matter if you overlay things, overlap things. It just gives it that extra effect. I'm going to just tip this scrap so. Oh gosh, let me do something. Always just scan your text, make sure there's nothing kind of like offensive in there. So obviously it's a fiction storybook or things, you never know. That's why dictionaries are quite good. I watched a lady the other day doing a similar kind of thing, and she was using a children's dictionary just because of the reason that you won't get any kind of unsuitable words on your projects, which I thought was quite funny. There's nothing worse than doing an amazing project and having bum splattered across the front of it. Okay. So yeah, just keep going, just keep building up those layers. Put your favourite music on, get your scraps out, and have a bit of fun. Hope you're all keeping well. I've seen some lovely projects on YouTube for the last couple of days. It's just nice to sit back and take the time to watch other people. And found a couple of nice new channels I like to watch, which is always good fun. Okay. So just need one last little bit in that little gap there. Instead of having the hard choices of what to actually use. It's quite nice to mix the colours up. So if you've got like a dark colour, do a lighter colour, and there we go. There we go. So that's our first tag, all collaged. So I'm going to pop this to one side just while it dries off a little bit. Then I'll come back and I'll trim around the back in a moment. Okay, let's have a go at a pink one. Now, these are all bundled together, tied together at the top. Got my holiday nails done now. This is a bit of a faff. There we go. Crikey. Tell you what, doesn't matter what the colour is underneath, it's going to be covered up anyway. I can't spend my whole life undoing knots. So we'll do another green one. Okay. So again, back to our scraps and off we go. Okay, so like I just said on here, this page is starting to get quite gluey and quite sticky on here. So I will turn that, and it will stick obviously because I've got lots of glue on it. And then just fold that over. And obviously these, I can then tear out and create a base of a tag with them. So that's quite a good tip for your book. And I'll just keep that on there. So this page is then, and obviously this kind of page I probably wouldn't use because it's got no text on it, so it becomes perfect as a part of a glue book. Okay. So I'm just going to overlap that a tiny little bit just because it's quite raggedy at the bottom. Seemed a shame cutting into this DigiKit. I downloaded the one from Pink Monarch Prints. It's the August kit. It's absolutely beautiful. But there was some of my pages just were a bit too big. So they had to have the chop. This is a really old book page. It's actually torn as I was getting off the glue book. Cover that little gap there. Doesn't matter which way your text goes around either when you're doing scraps, because they will all actually be, or that could be then covered if there's something you don't like when you come to actually decorate these for your project. Then there's something you can cover up with an embellishment or something if you wanted to. And when you're doing this, just keep lifting your tag, because otherwise it will just get stuck to the bottom. This mat's getting so old now, it's on my list to treat myself to a new one. I have to wait till another payday. Quite like the way this coffee paper came out. Lovely. The only thing with coffee dyed paper is the smell sometimes. It's quite strong. So I'm hoping the people that buy your journals are coffee lovers too. Cover that corner. I'm just going to cover that bit up in a moment. So if you have little parts like this here, I've covered that, rather to cover that corner, that large space, I can always come back in with a little gap filler there. That's quite cute. Obviously stamped something on there I didn't like. And put that down here. Just knowing where to put things now. Piece of scrapbook paper. If it's got a lot of straight edges, you can obviously just tear those off. I won't keep something like that because it's too tiny. That can just obviously then go in the bin. Lots of glue and cover that bit. I'm going to do that way. Otherwise I've got too many straight edges. Another thing you can do with this, if you can cover it with a layer of PVA glue or matte medium, just to seal it all together, if you want to do that. I'm just going to come back with that tag because I think that'll look quite nice on that bland. That bit there was quite plain, so I'll just cover that over with a bit of doily. Ripping and tearing. I've seen lots and lots of Christmassy, autumny things coming on videos now. I was like, no, we haven't really had much of a summer here in the UK. It's been quite miserable actually. So thinking about Christmas at the moment is a definite no-no for me personally. I don't start Christmas crafting till October probably. However, saying that, if I see something in the shop I like, I will buy, but not craft just yet. But everyone's different, aren't they? Each to their own. People just love Christmas. Okay, so I just need something around here. Oh, look at that. Won't use that on this. Obviously done a bit of stamping on. Testing stamps on book pages is quite a good thing to do, which is obviously what I've done here. Getting if you don't want a really heavy stamp to start off with, you can take the excess ink off and then stamp on your project. Are you going to fit there? Not quite. I've got two little gappy bits there. Good idea not to glue onto a bit I've already glued on. And there, and just a tiny little bit for in there. And there we go. Another collage tag. Fold that one over. Let's do one more. So this time I'm going to use bigger chunks of paper. See if it gives it a different effect. So using quite large pieces of paper rather than small ones. Try and get to the close edge as I can. Has that gone over? Make sure I keep getting a different mix of bits and pieces each time. It's got too big. I quite like the torn effect of this, where it's obviously been like a perforated page. So I might just keep that in there with the green showing through the background. What haven't I got? Let's have a little bit of music notes. So these are, like I said, good to keep in your stash, and they can obviously go in any pocket you make as a quick grab, and just put kind of like little something on the front of them. That splash of pink there. There we go. go. So different scraps, different effects. Obviously use biggest ones on this one. I don't know if I actually like that showing through. I might just cover that up because otherwise it just takes away from the whole scraps. Fit in there. Thought I did like them little bits showing. Perhaps I should have popped that at the top. But then you're obviously going to get that coloured card. It's too much of a block green. I don't like it. There we go. Okay, so just carefully trimming around these now. And the good thing about these ready-made tags is you've got that lovely background there, ready for someone to journal on. And you don't have to think about what your background of your tag is. Okay. So make sure, if you do obviously cut through the card, you just have to pop it into a trim and just straighten the edge up. But sometimes it's quite nice having that little overlap, makes it look handmade. Always concentrate when I'm cutting, so you might hear me heavy breathing. And the second one. And hopefully this will cut okay, because obviously when the glue's still a bit tacky, it'll stick to my scissors. Let's move all those to one side. And just re-punch the holes. And again, I'm not going to put any twine or ribbon or anything in here because again it might not lend to the project that it's going on, so I'm going to leave that blank as well. There we go. So there's our 3 collaged tags. Now what I'm going to quickly do is I've got some of these left over from my envelope journal I did, so I might just pop these on as well. So pop some glue on the back. I won't decorate these too much, just give that a little bit of something there. And then on this one, let's have a little look through this book. It's a nice pink. Oh, should I do a bird? He's super cute. So I'm just going to tear around him, or her. Let's give that a bit of a jaggedy bottom as well. There we go. So it doesn't take much to kind of like lift these collage tags. Just put that along the bottom there. And then let's have a little fairy on this one. So I've got some blues and yellows in here. Try and link in some colours. I think I might go with... So again, I'm just going to tear around, and obviously this is get rid of some scraps, so this will go straight with my scraps. There we go. Carefully just tearing around that image just for my last one. I'm going to pop that up there because I want to keep those butterflies that I've got there. There we have. So the last thing I'm going to do is obviously I have got my sewing machine, but I haven't actually got it set up, as lots of you know. It's one of my jobs to do. I think I keep putting it off because I don't think I'm going to be very good at it, but just need some time to practice, I think. So I am going to faux stitch around here. So I've just got a black fine line pen, and I'm just going to go around the edge, just using little lines just to give that faux stitching. Obviously, if you've got a sewing machine, you can sew round yours. I actually need to learn how to thread my sewing machine. That's the one thing I haven't. Using it, I'm fine with. I think I know obviously how to lift the lever, put the foot down, all those kind of things. I think it's just actually getting to know how to thread it. And I'm sure once I do it, I'll fall in love with it and everything will be stitched. There we go. So that's kind of like a faux stitch effect around that one. If not, let's get a thicker pen. That's an 04. And instead of going around with dots, just go around with a couple of lines like that. Doesn't have to be neat, because obviously when you stitch, it won't be neat. It just gives that kind of like finishing off effect. And I go over purposely, not on the same line. So as you can see there, I've not gone over on the same line. It gives it that kind of stitching effect. Okay, so there's two different ways to do those lines, and do the same on the last one. So just going over, you could use brown pen or white pen, whichever links in with your colours you've used on your tag. Last side. There we go. So we have our 3 different collaged tags with our kind of like little main features on each one. So we've got fairy, bird and a flower. I'm quite pleased with those. I think they've come out quite nicely. So these can just be popped in any journal as and when you make them. Yeah, have a go, get your scraps out and have a go at making some scrapbook collage tags. Thanks for watching my Tag Time Tuesday, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, crafty friends.